Welcome to the District Cabinet Selection Working as a Team course. So this is a Lions University course brought to you by the USA Canada Lions Leadership Forum. My name is Wendy Kane, and I will be serving as the facilitator and moderator for today's session. I'd like to take a moment to remind you that the webinar is being recorded for those who cannot participate live, or if you would like to review the material again at a later time. You can engage in this particular webinar a number of ways. You can ask questions or respond to questions by using the chat feature or by raising your hand and being called on and unmuted to share verbally. The District Cabinet Selection is a required course of the Lions University Master's Program that is designed to help Lions lead at the district level. The Master's Program involves completion of both of 10 required courses and at least 5 elective courses. You can see all of the courses that are currently available or scheduled by going to the appropriate summary page on lionsuniversity.org. And just as a reminder, Lions do need to register for an account on lionsuniversity.org in order to access the available courses, take quizzes, and track your real-time progress. This requires a different username and password than those who have registered with either the Lions International website or the USA Canada Lions Leadership Forum website. However, you could choose to use the same username and password if you wish, but they are separate logins. And don't forget, after you participate in the webinar or watch the course video, you can select Mark as completed at the bottom of the page, and that will take you to the link to the quiz module to get credit for the course. You can also monitor your own progress of course completions by selecting the My Account page and then the appropriate program, either the bachelor's program, master's program, or doctorate courses. You can also take any courses in any order. This is the first one out of the chute for the master's program, but you can take any course that is of interest to you at any time. And as we get ready to begin, it is my pleasure to introduce today's faculty. I don't know if you have it on the next slide. There we go. Past District Governor Len Day is from the Barrie South Lions Club in Ontario, Canada. We are pleased to have his participation in the master's program and serving as the faculty for this particular topic. So we look forward to hearing from you. Lion Len.
Thank you very much, Wendy, for introducing me and for the information about Lions University. Again, I'm Lion Len Day with the Barrie South Lions Club. I'm a past district governor in District A12 in Ontario, Canada. So our objectives today are: why build a team, identify players for a successful team, and how to be a successful team. And these, when we talk about teams, we look a lot at the work we do as Lions, and we do so much better when we are together. And we're going to move right on to our next slide here, which will be team. We're going to look at a championship football team compared to what we would like to have as a championship cabinet. This is a team that I coached. This team went undefeated. It was great that I was able to coach my son. And football in Canada is a little different than football in the United States. We only have 3 downs. We have a wider field, and we have an extra player on the field. But the concept's the same. And just like Lions, wherever you are, things are a little different. So not everyone does everything the same way, but the total outlook is very much the same. And we look at a team because together, everyone achieves more. So we have our district governor as the coach. This just happens to be my district governor this year. And it's very important that the governor acts as a coach and not as a boss. As a coach, you will need to fill many roles and have many responsibilities. A coach plans the strategy with the coordinators, who could be your vice district governors, and other parts of your cabinet team. The coach or the governor will select members of the team. They will help handle the public relations part, attend conferences and meetings, just like coaches, talk to developing and go to different meetings for learning different strategies. The district governor will also need to go to different sessions to learn about making the district even better than it was. You'll help with the recruitment efforts. When building a championship team, you want to get the best people that you can for the positions you need to fill. A good coach will designate responsibilities to developing future coaches. And, it will look after making sure the fans and the alumni get what they need. So right now, think about a coach that you may have had in the past, or a good leader that you've had that would have been able to share some values with you. So let's look at some of the roles and the responsibilities that you think a good coach should have. So feel free just to brainstorm a bit and let us know what you feel a quality of a good coach would be.
Then we've got some feedback coming in. A good communicator.
Okay.
A good listener. A Kaizen attitude, always willing to learn. Trustworthy, knowing the players, being open to new ideas.
Okay, that's great. So let's have a look at
more passionate and knowing the strengths of each player and uses them to the best benefit. You got them rolling now. And Lion Ruth, would you like to share?
Yes, as a coach, you need to be a good judge of character and also a good listener.
Great, thanks, Ruth.
Thank you.
So let's have a look at some of the stuff that we've said, and let's highlight what we think is a attribute of a good coach and a good district governor. So positive, very important. Enthusiastic. Trusting. A good communicator. We heard that. We've heard all these things, just in different words. Goal-oriented. Caring. Supportive. Knowledgeable. Respectful. Motivational. Supportive. And observant. Can we all agree that those would be pretty good qualities to have as a coach and a district governor? I think so. So your vice district governors. These were my two vice district governors when I was governor. Lion Randy and Lion Brian, and they were really great. You know, they were able to take on responsibilities from myself. They helped with our strategic plan because coaches can't do everything themselves. They need to rely on their assistant coaches. And just like with our cabinet, we have to rely on our vice district governors to help make sure that we get all the things done that we need to be a successful Lions year. A good coach will delegate responsibilities to develop future coaches and coordinate while overseeing the team. They'll develop new players and new people so that you're always building the next level of leadership. You'll decide who officially speaks for your team. You will want to make sure that the fans know what's going on, and our fans are our everyday Lions that are there working hard to make our communities better. You're going to provide growth opportunities for yourself and for all the Lions in your district. Just like a coach will take a player and make them into a better player and a better leader, making it a stronger team altogether. You'll interpret the scouting reports. You'll look and see where new clubs need to be. You'll need to look at what kind of game plan you'll need throughout your year for the different teams you're going to play so that you'll continue to be successful. And you're going to recommend players for each opportunity that's required. The future success of your team will be based on the recruitment efforts, the ability to attract the best members, and identify potential new players for future teams is essential to continued success. So let's think about great coaches and what they may have done special. What characteristics would make a championship coach? So like we said, we need to be people that are going to listen. We need to look at the ways that we're going to develop the next level and the new coaches. And we need to look at ways that we continually move forward. Well, let's think about the cabinet secretary treasurer. And I would suggest that both these positions be separate individuals because it's a lot of work and we want to delegate more. We don't want to stress people out. We don't want to make people take on too much of a job so that they can still enjoy the service that we provide, the fun and the work that we do in our clubs and in our districts. The quarterback is the district cabinet secretary treasurer. The quarterback will call the plays as developed by the coach and the coordinators. The quarterback is expected to communicate the plays to the players. So he directs the team, or she calls plays, keeps coaches up to date on what's working and what's not working. Request the resources needed. Sometimes you may need extra people in one area or another, and that will be the job to make sure that we both have the personnel and the financial resources to complete what we need to do. Why is a good communicator essential to a winning team? Could anyone give us an answer to that question?
Hi, Ruth.
Good communicator is really important because you need that information to be shared. You need to share it with your team. You need to share it with the Lions in general as well. So working with the quarterback really closely means communicating back and forth so that the same messages get out the same way. This way people are staying informed and staying up to date and feeling part of the district.
Thanks, Ruth.
Communicating is critical.
Yes, we need to have that two-way communication on the whole team. So we must be able to let the coach know what's working. The quarterback has to talk to the players. The players have to talk back to the quarterback. And we all have to be able to mutually agree on what's happening, what's working well, what's not working, and what we need to adjust. And that's the big part of coaching a team and having a championship team, is that you can adjust and make things work so that you can win.
Hey, Lan, a couple of key points from the chat, and I think Ruth's feedback shared similarly so that everybody knows the plan. But Mike also clarified that sometimes what is said is not necessarily what is heard, and that's such an important part of making sure that everyone is on the same page with the plan and executing the plan. We also had that the communicator is the link between the coach, our district governor, and our club members. So thank you all for your input.
So these are some of the things that a good cabinet secretary should have, as well as the cabinet treasurer: knowledge of Lions, financial skills, administrative skills. They should be personable, good communications, and you'll see that a lot in this whole presentation is good communication, because it's very important that people are heard, they know that they've been listened, and they understand what they've said is understood, both upwards and downwards. And it looks like we have a double whammy here. So we're just reiterating some of this. But I think we also need to know that we have to work together so that everything is a team. The secretary treasurer can help each other. You know, they're going to have lots of good skills. And again, just reiterating everything that we've talked about, that knowledge, communication, being able to listen, these are all the skills that we need to continue to go forward. Next, the region chair or the wide receiver, the zone chair. They're people that go out into the field to advance our team, looking for ways to score. In Lions, we do the same thing with the zone and region chairs. They go out, they look at opportunities, they look at what's working in our local clubs. They talk to the club secretaries and treasurers, they hold meetings, they advise the clubs on what's happening. They look for weaknesses and strengths so that they can ask for the help to advance the game. They also help to determine plays to score. Membership growth is how we score in Lions. The zone and region chairs are the most valuable players on your team as a cabinet because they have the front hand experience of working with the clubs. So again, they run plays to win. They report back to the quarterback on what's working. They look for weaknesses and strengths. They talk to the coach. They determine how to score, how to make new clubs, how to increase our membership, how to increase our service impact. What do you think some of the traits of a good zone chairperson or region chairperson would be? I'm going to give you a hint. A good communicator is probably one of the first ones. Ruth?
With the zone chairs, you really need to make sure we have people that pay attention to details. So when they're visiting the clubs, they're looking to see who's a potential leader for future zone chairs and region chairs. And you also need to make sure that they are, as you say, communicating well with the clubs, but also back up to the district governor as well.
Thank you.
Couple other comments coming in the chat. Just took a couple. It took a couple minutes. The being a good organizer, supporting the vision and the message of the district governor, but also making sure that the district governor message goes down to the members, but also communicating up and making sure that that communication works both ways within our organization, and understanding the area that the club is in and being able to report what type of help they may need or ways to encourage the club. Thank you. Oh, one more. Understanding how to carry that message from the cabinet to the plain old Lions that they'll meet and interact with at the club level. Thank you, guys.
Yes, it's very important that we get the everyday Lions involved and they feel that they are contributing not only in their club, but to the district as well. So I think zone chairs and region chairs need to be motivational. I think that's kind of what we're talking about. They need to be informed about what's going on in our clubs, good communications, organized, enthusiastic, have leadership skills, and continuing to work on those. They need to be a team player so that they can help in different locations. They can set goals. They're willing to learn, and they're an advocate for the clubs and the members in their zones and regions. So the offensive line, we probably consider that to be our global membership team. We need some really big bodies, some strong people, some people that are confident that they're not going to get pushed around. So the offensive line, and myself, I was an offensive lineman. I was an offensive tackle. And our job was to make sure that it opened up the door for the running backs and other people to move down the field. And that's kind of what we want as our global membership team. They're going to open up opportunities for new members to come in. They're going to have ways to advance our organization, just like in football. They're going to make it available for the ball to move 10 yards to get that first down and possibly get in so that they're in a scoring opportunity. The global membership team looks for new members in clubs as well as looking to clear the way for new clubs. So they're going to protect the game plan. They're going to lead the efforts to move forward. And they're going to be specialists in what they do. Again, the global membership team is a team within a team, just like the offensive line is not just one player, but it's several players, and they have to work together to be successful. So they need to be relationship builders. They need to be ethical. They need to have communication skills. They need to adapt. They need to be able to problem solve, because sometimes you may start doing something and it may not work out the way you think it's going to. So you have to be able to solve the problem to get to the location that you need to be in at a certain time. They have to have a global mindset. We're not just looking at our own club. We have to look outside of our clubs. We have to look at new areas, and we have to be able to look at the way we do things so that we attract a good representation of our community. They need to be knowledgeable on what's going on within the Lions world. They have to have a strategic thinking and collaboration skills. And again, be motivational. The defensive line, or the global leadership team, are other strong players, and they are here to protect our territory so that we don't lose players. We don't lose individual Lions. They prevent the drops. They stop our losing so that we can continue to win. And they develop new talent. So making sure that the new Lions and our existing Lions get the required training that they have. So just like the offensive line, the global leadership team and the defensive line work together as a team. This group of specialists who protect the territory that we have, the team tracking in football, like team tackling in football, working together to train officers and improve quality of meetings and developing new leadership and different examples of what can be expected of the global leadership team. This group has to realize that they cannot look backwards, but must be constantly striving to move forward to retain and gain ground with the membership team. So again, the membership team and the leadership team need to work together so that we can provide strong team members and strong clubs in our districts. So here are some things that this team should have. Again, a good knowledge of Lions. They can be team players. Ability to delegate. Forward thinking. Dispute management. Communication skills. Team audit. Adult educator. They need to be personable and they need to be passionate, because the whole team doesn't have to make a tackle on the defense, but you need to know who's going after the ball so that you can get it back and give it to the offense to try and score. Then we have our global extension on our global service team. And these are, like in football, specialty teams, like our kickoff return and our kickoff team. So we're going to say that the global extension team is our kickoff team, because they're going to try to move the ball back downfield to put us in a position to be in a scoring spot. They're focused on details to win, both the kickoff and kickoff return team, just like this global membership or extension and service teams work together to protect our leads and to make sure that we have the ability to attract new members. They're specialized players that may not be involved in everyday events, but they're looking at ways to increase our dynamics so that we have more team players, we have more clubs in our district so that we can provide more service. So those two teams work a lot together. And we need to help move the whole team forward to score. These two teams help develop success within the district. When we have strong service, that attracts more members. When we have more members, we get new leaders. And when we have more teams, it really makes our district feel more energetic. And that's what we're hoping to do with these two. So let's think about what the global extension team should be able to do. And we'll just have a couple minutes here to go through some brainstorming from the group.
Len, would you please clarify your question or the feedback that you're seeking?
Oh, I'm looking for the specialty teams. What would be some of the things that the global extension team should be able to do as a team?
I get it. We have a comment in the chat to recognize opportunity for expansion and identify possible areas where there is no club, but enough people to sustain a club. I'll hand off to Ruth while a couple of other comments are coming in. Go ahead, Ruth.
I feel that they also need to be able to identify potential leaders when they're working with a new club. So once they start to have people coming to the meetings and signing up, the extension team needs to keep an eye out to see who are the possible leaders that would probably help keep this club going. So they need to have some really strong people skills and communication skills to do that.
So the ability to identify club leaders in a new club?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Also got feedback to the global extension team should know your district, where Lions are needed, where there's a void, and where those opportunities are.
Yes, that's very important because there's probably areas within each of the districts that are underserviced by the clubs that we already have. So when we have an extension team going in, they should look at those areas so that they can go in and score some points by adding new clubs in those locations.
I'm going to try to keep up with your football analogy here because there's also there's a follow-up, a need to know the team's tendencies, or in this case, the feedback is to know the history of the area. For example, if there was a club in the area before, it's helpful to know why it did not succeed, so you can go in prepared to have a different game plan this go around.
So that would be like when we talked about the scouting reports earlier that the coaches would have to look at. So also this team would have to look at why a club may have failed or why some clubs in some areas are doing better and what we can emulate to make the new clubs act like the very strong and good working clubs.
Yep, sounds good.
So again, this team needs to have good communication. They have to have active listening because that's how you're going to identify those new leaders. You have to be able to be a public speaker so that you can go out and attract people. You're not afraid to talk and explain what Lions do so that we can start those needed new clubs. You need to know some stuff about new club development. You have to have some time management skills. You have to be able to use technology. You have to be a mentor so that you can work with those new clubs to get them strong and help them to move forward in the direction that will make them a positive part of the district. Be able to analyze some data on numbers, so where clubs could potentially go, what type of service that they'll do in those new locations, be committed to growth, and be a strategic thinker. Okay, now the global service team. And I know that Randy, who's on here tonight, he's been a great service team person. So perhaps he could explain something that would be part of this specialty team when we're looking at forming your global service team.
To form a something good for the global service team would be somebody who's passionate about doing hands-on service, who want to get out there and help people. They really enjoy helping people. So I think that would be the number one attribute for somebody on that team who wants to go out and help people.
Thanks, Randy. And it's very important that we do that hands-on service, because that's how our communities end up seeing us. And when they see us doing something that's making our communities better, making the world a better place, then we're going to attract members. And that's why the global service team and the global extension team need to work together, because we're looking at locations where Lions are underserviced. We're not looking after that community the way that we should be. So that's a good opportunity for us to go in, do some meaningful service, and get a new club up and running. So let's look at different things that can be done so that the team members have the right skills. So an event management, that's probably important if you're going to look at taking on a new service activity. So being able to plan that, schedule it, and get it completed. Knowledge of the different services that we provide. What's required in the community. If it's a community with young people, we'll probably need to do some things directed towards possibly youth, where in a location where there's a larger senior citizen community, we'd have to look at ways to meeting the needs of those members of the community. They need to be good public speakers so that they can attract the people in the community to partake in the service that we're doing. Goal settings, time management, so that they know how to give things and delegate work to other people so that they don't have to focus on every detail themselves. You have to be able to use technology. You have to be a mentoring person. You have to be able to use the Lions portal, very important, so that we can report the service, because reporting the service is very important so that we can work with partners to get funds that we can use to continue work like eliminating the river blindness disease and helping with the measles initiatives in the past. They look at what the Lions do, and it's from the reports that we have through the Lions portal that allows us to get funding for different specific projects. Have to be able to have promotion skills and be a strategic thinker.
Len, we've got some good feedback in the chat that I wanted to share about the global service team and service activities. When we're doing our service projects, that's when we get new clubs and new members, when they're actually seeing what Lions do hands-on. And complementary to that was another comment that by getting in touch with our members and prospective members' passions, we're able to grow through the service that we provide. And then finally, the global service team should know where the resources are that can help support service. You made reference to some of the opportunities that we have for grants by reporting. But being aware of other specific grants that are available for certain types of projects, where other partner organizations are that could provide manpower, and also sources of donations. So
And that would be fantastic, because it's always good to use all the different levels of our organization, and that would be the global service team working with the LCIF chair and looking at getting grants so that we can do projects that we may not be able to do on our own. So some very good points there. Thank you, Wendy, for sharing those. Then we have to look at making sure that our alumni are there for us. And our alumni are our past district governors. Our alumni have experience that can be shared. They're great people to be used as mentors. They have many years of experience, and they've seen situations that we may come upon throughout our year as we're trying to get to that championship. And we shouldn't be afraid to ask them for guidance, ask them what they did in similar situations, so they can consult with the coaches. They can provide their experiences. They can help develop strengths and look at eliminating our weaknesses. They can assist with our recruitment efforts. Let them tell their stories, because they've had such great experiences. They've helped people, and talk about the different service projects that they've done. In my own district, each district governor each year has a district project, so they could share what their district project was the year they were governor, so that they can get a good diversity of different service activities, so that everyone can learn from their experience. They help us, but a lot of them can't play anymore, for health reasons, But it's always good to talk to that older past district governor, just to say, I'd like your advice on this. And a very wise person told me when I was becoming governor, listen to everyone, be informed, but make your own decision, and make an informed decision. And that's what the past district governors are able to do. They're enabling us to make good decisions from the history that they've had. Our fans, our everyday Lions, the most important people in our organization, the ones that are making our clubs active in the communities, the source of major support. We want to make sure we do what they want. We want to make sure that we listen to what's happening, listening to the things that our everyday Lions are passionate about, looking for ways to involve them in all levels of our district. We want to make sure that we encourage those Lions to take on leadership roles, to take on organizing different events. Every Lion is a leader because they joined our great organization. We want to motivate them, and we want to be motivated by what they do. And we want them to be rowdy. We want them to be like you're going in to the championship game with your home team, the only ones in the crowd, yelling and screaming and cheering for the work that we're doing. And really, that's what we want. We want enthusiastic members that are going to knock down walls because they're happy with what our district's asking of them, and we're making a difference in every community that we have a club in. Scoring. Scoring is very important. We've talked about the different teams and how to get to the goal line and how to score. Touchdown. In Lions, a touchdown is starting a new club. And we always want to try and score as many touchdowns as possible. But we also have to look at supplying those new clubs with help, right? We need to be training people. We need to have those new clubs with certified guiding lions and mentors, and, you know, look at clubs that are strong in the area where that new club is and have them work with those clubs to develop strong leadership in the new club. Use your alumni to help with teaching treasurers and presidents and secretaries the responsibilities that are required. Field goals. That's very important as well, because we want to be able to try and score in every way we can. And every time we increase membership in a club, we help increase the amount of service we do. Here in Canada, we have a single. So if you punt the ball through the end zone, you're going to get a single. And let's think about that as not losing members. So if we can score another way by not dropping members, keeping our members, retention. So, you know, that's not something that happens in the USA with football, but it is our little prime different here in Canada, getting that single. And that's sometimes you win a game just because you were able to punt that ball through the end zone and score that single point. A successful season. So if I was to ask you, could someone give me an example of what you think a successful season would be?
And this is a successful season for your district.
Your district, yes. Because we are talking about, you know, the selection of your district cabinet and making it to be a championship cabinet, just like we talked about it being a championship football team.
So successful season would be at least one new club and increased overall membership is one example. Ruth, I'm going to let you chime in while others are typing if you'd like to share, unless that was you were going to share something similar.
Yes, I can share. To me, a successful season is when your region chairs and zone chairs have replacements at the end of their year to replace them if they're stepping down, or if they're stepping, better still, if they're stepping up. And also that the district as a whole finishes with a plus in membership, ideally a plus in clubs as well as individuals. That to me would be a successful season.
Thanks. Couple more that came in, and then Jamie will come over to you. Similarly, an increase in membership and no problems in getting new zone chairs and other cabinet members. Another successful season for a district would be good retention, an increase in membership, and one or two types of new clubs. So just recalling the option that our global extension team has for specialty clubs. Go ahead, Jamie.
Also, I feel it's important if you've expanded service in your district through the clubs, you encourage leadership and new leaders throughout your district, and obviously grow membership.
Yes, we always want to try and increase our service impact to our communities, right? Because that will allow us to attract more people. It allows us to look at new ways to serve our communities. So thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Ruth, for sharing your ideas. And for all those that typed in, thank you for your participation in.
We got one more here.
Okay.
Len, that's a little bit unique from some of the feedback we heard. And this district is successful if they got their rowdy lions, if they have a pumped up district that is motivated and trained for the future.
Excellent. So to ensure that we have a successful season, let's make sure we select our team members early and get them trained. Let's share our expectations with everyone so that everyone knows what we want to do and what we want to accomplish. Get the commitment from the players at every level so that we all know that we're going to work together to have success. We're also going to reward success. Just like in football, you see all those little stickers on the helmets. Those are because a player has done something that was outstanding, or maybe like a player of the game. They get a little sticker to reward them. So let's look at ways to reward the members that are doing things that are successful. Remember, when we thank people, we get them to do more. And when we recognize their good efforts, that shows others that what we do is meaningful. And of course, we want to support the direction that our coach wants to go in, and our players want to make sure that they're doing what they can to get to the goal line. And we all need to strive to be a winner. So we'll just review our objectives. Do we understand what the importance of a team is? Can someone just kind of come on and say why it's important to work as a team?
When people work together, great things happen.
That's right. And right, we can do more things when we work together than we can when we work by ourselves. Did we identify players for a successful team and a successful cabinet? Do you think we did that? We identified, I think, the skills that are needed for each of the jobs. We looked at ways to increase the efforts of our district, to increase our membership, and to make sure that we provide more service than we did in the past, with fresh and new leaders coming on board.
Yes, we
And finally, I think we showed the way to have a successful team because we keep communications open, we make sure that we have knowledge, that we work together, and that we help each other, and we always try to follow the Lions Code of Ethics that we build up and not destroy. Can we all agree that we met those objectives?
yes.
Yes, sir. It's looking positive.
Yes.
And we also had a comment with a Helen Keller quote in the chat. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much.
Yes, that's a very good quote. That's probably one of my favorite Helen Keller quotes. And again, now you're able to log into the Lions University Master's Program, and you can take the quiz to finish this course. Course Masters 201, and there's the login for you so that you can take this university course, complete it, and work towards your master's degree. So thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you for those that participated. I'm very happy that you were able to join. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. And most of all, thank you all for taking the time to work on your leadership skills so that we can be and continue to be the best service organization in the world. Lion Wendy, back to you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lion Len, for the football analogy. I'm a big football fan, and I actually like the speed and pace of Canadian football too. So I'll take extra points for punting through the uprights. But thank you for giving us some food for thought on district cabinet selection and we wish all of our future district leaders the best. It definitely takes a village or quite the team to carry out the wide range of responsibilities that our coaches have as district governors each year. So thank you for helping guide us along that path, and thank you all for your participation today. We wish you all the best.